Hey guys, Trisha Pero here. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I just wanted to come on and talk briefly about what to eat on keto. I know a lot of people are starting this new way of eating because now that it's been popular for some time now and people are seeing the results, not just in weight loss but health benefits, there are more and more people exploring this. So I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about the keto basics. So there's a common misconception that it is bacon and butter all day, right? And that's why, a lot of people struggled with the concept and were definitely unsure. But we have since been able to, who have been on it and those who, really encourage it and recommend it, have been able to educate a lot of people on that it's much different. And for me personally, before I was doing keto, I was clean eating, and it's really not much different than clean eating. I mean, keto really is clean eating. It's not just eating a bunch of processed fats and processed foods. You're just not as hungry, and the food just tastes a lot better because it's not plain chicken breasts or plain seasoning. So that's one of the main differences. So one of the things is there's a common misconception that you can't have any fruit. That's probably what I hear most from, right away from people. So, I just can't give up fruit. Well, first thing, you don't have to. We do recommend that you stick to fruits that are lower on the glycemic index, like berries is one of them. But at the same time, one thing that I often talk to folks about is if you're going to choose an apple over a candy bar, then choose the apple. Like, it's not like you can't have it. It's just going to be higher in carbs, and it really depends on how many carbs you're allowing yourself a day and what your goals are, right? But I have lots of people who have done this and have just switched from simple carbs to complex carbs. So like they've cut out the bread and the pasta, but they're still allowing themselves, things like fruit or other things that are good for you but higher in carbs. So that's one of the common misconceptions. So yes, you can have fruit. It just depends on what's going to fit into your goals. Nuts and seeds are another thing that you can have. Macadamia nuts, I would highly recommend. They're very low in carbs. Those are actually my personal favorite. Cashews are great, but you have to be cautious. They're a little higher in carbs. Almonds are good as well. Green veggies, I would stick to above ground veggies like zucchini, cucumbers, celery, lettuce. I think in any food plan you follow, rule of thumb is like a good salad, like a colorful salad, is something that's going to be good for you, right? That's a good way to get your veggies in. And I know one of the biggest difference for me personally from doing other food plans to now following a low carb keto diet is that salad that I might have had before that was super dense and didn't really do a whole lot for me, now is very filling because I'm adding things like avocado to it, or cheese, or things that are going to satisfy me, keep me fuller. A high fat dressing that doesn't have any chemicals in it, like the low fat or the light dressings, because we know that's not good for you. So that's definitely something that I would recommend, is fill up like a really good salad with stuff that's going to keep you nice and full, but it's also a good way to get your veggies in because veggies are, good for you. Another thing is dairy is okay and allowed on keto if you can tolerate it. Some people notice that if they have too much dairy, then they might bloat or it might affect them. I mean, I think dairy is one of those things that definitely affects us all very differently. And you just have to be cautious as to yourself. I know for me, I do have cheese, but I don't like have it all the time. It's not something that I have all the time, kind of like what I was saying with the bacon. I do allow myself bacon, but not every day. So it really just depends on whether or not you can tolerate it. Oils, olive oils, butters, they have herbed butters you can buy that you can put on your food, and it'll really make it taste better. And just butter in general tastes so much better than margarine, which we know is so not good for you at all. Avocados is huge. A lot of people will say to me, well, I don't like avocados. Well, guess what? I don't either. But I find ways to sneak them in my food. I try. I wish I loved them. I wish I could just do like some people do and like scoop them out and put some salt and pepper, but it's just not my thing. But I love guacamole, or I'll sneak it in my salad to make it creamier. I will, put it in my eggs. That's another thing I'll do with them. Wraps. I'll put them in wraps a lot of times. So that's ways I'll sneak that in, because we know that not only does avocado have some really good healthy fats, but it's a superfood. So it's definitely one of those, it's way up there to try to put into your diet. And then meat. So this is where a lot of people confuse keto with Atkins, because Atkins was like high protein. But that's not what we do. It's not meat all day, every day. Like I said, it's not much different than anything that I've done in the past. The biggest difference is that I'm cutting back more on carbs, and I'm not so hungry that I want to just come home at the end of the day and eat my whole house, which is why I wasn't successful in a lot of other food plans, because of how restrictive it was and how starving I felt. So again, it's not meat all day, every day, but yes, there are things like bacon. Typically, we have bacon more on the weekends, if anything, but you can allow yourself to have bacon during the week. But there, if you're going to be strict keto, there are things that you should get, like nitrate free. You want to watch out for that. But throw your turkey bacon away, because nobody needs that. It's not real. It's fake. It's gross. Like, I don't want to see another piece of turkey bacon in my life. It's just not real. Like, it's fake. Gross. So anyway, fish, shrimp, chicken. It's actually better to do chicken with the skin. You can get a nice chicken thigh. We made a keto chicken stew the other day, and that's what we used, was the chicken thighs with the skin. It was really good. Ground beef, throw away your ground turkey. That stuff is gross too. Ground beef and a nice, steak, whatever cut of steak is good that you want. What are the no's? Absolute no's in keto. So obviously bread, although you can find some low carb wraps that are not strict keto. They're a little bit more dirty keto, but it's really all in what you prefer. So we like there's a bunch of different low carb wraps that we like, but one of our absolute favorite is the Mission Low Carb, because it tastes no different than the regular tortilla wrap, I find, by Mission, but it's a low carb wrap, and we love that. So we'll use that sometimes. You can also replace your bread with lettuce. So like lettuce wraps is something we do a lot. A lot of people feel like they can't give up bread, but after like the first 3 days, it's probably the hardest. And then after that, it's really not terribly difficult. You actually don't miss it. Like I actually have a little story. We're always on the lookout for new products. new things that we can replace maybe old things that we used to have. So we found a very low carb hamburger bun, and we love to make burgers, but we love to make like lettuce wrap burgers, and we have all kinds of different variations that we'll make burgers with, whether it's like we like to make quesadilla ones, taco burgers, whatever. We like to do Big Mac burgers, all kinds of things that we have found keto versions of. So anyway, we ordered this low carb hamburger bun, and we ate it, and my husband and I both looked at each other and we're like, nope, like it's so much better in a lettuce wrap, because first of all, we don't miss that bread. It takes up too much of the taste, and we just weren't into it. So we're like, no, we're just going to keep to the lettuce wrap. We really have no desire to go back to that. Pastas you want to stay away from. They do have, there are replacements for that as well. We actually tried something the other day. I honestly, to save my life, I can't remember what it's called. But it's just like, it looks like pasta, but it's not. And I was very hesitant. My husband's more adventurous at foods. I was a little bit hesitant because I wasn't entirely sure what it was going to taste like. It's kind of like translucent in color. It was really good. I didn't mind it at all. Actually, my kids ate it and didn't complain a bit. They liked it. So you can find replacements for that as well. You can also do like the zucchini noodles. Spaghetti squash is a little bit higher in carbs, but it's not bad. You want to stay away from sugar or any artificial sweeteners. Sugar is the devil. It seriously is so addicting. If I fall off track and then get back on track the next day and go back to strict eating, I can tell that I'm withdrawing from sugar. It's a real thing. Like, sugar withdrawals are a real thing. So just stay as far away from sugar as you can, and stay away from artificial sweeteners as well, because those are not good for us. So things like, you can have stevia. Swerve is a really good one. That's one we use often because it's like bakes like sugar. It looks like sugar. You can use it. It's the same measurement to sugar. And then erythritol is another one that you can use. Stay away from most milks because they're higher in carbs. Corn is a definite no-no in keto. Rice and beans. But unless you are living under a rock, you probably know that cauliflower has been able to make itself to be just about anything. Pizza crust, mashed potatoes, or faux mashed potatoes, I should say, and cauliflower rice. Those are things that are weekly staples in our house. Like, we do cauliflower mash, which we love. And sometimes we make them into, we put cheese and bacon on it. And then we do cauliflower rice almost, there's some kind of cauliflower in our meal pretty much almost every day. It's replaced potatoes for us, and we love it. So those are some other things that you can do. So really, it's not that difficult. I think people just get super overwhelmed in the beginning because they don't know what to eat or how much to eat. And keto talks a lot about macros, and that can be scary for people, but it's really just protein, carbs, fats. That's what macros are. And maybe downloading something like Carb Manager, which is an app, any kind of tracking app. Find a tracking app that you like, and go ahead and download that, and it'll help you figure out for you how much you need in general. A good little rule of thumb, though, if you're just starting out, is 5 to 10% of your food should be carbs, 20 to 30 protein, and then the rest should be fat. So that's something that you can kind of use as a guide. But again, a tracking app is just so much better. Another thing that some people do is, because there's so many different variations, some people will they'll just basically do under 20 net carbs per day. So net carbs are total carbs minus your fiber and sugar alcohols. And some people will do just under total 50 per day. It really just depends on what works for you. I just personally like to use a tracking app because I feel like we're all different heights and sizes and gender, and that all, you know, plays a part in, personally, I think that all plays a part in what we should be following, like what our macros should be. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to me or comment below, and I will respond to your questions. Have a great day.